Well, Frank Borgia was a member of our family, and he had an argument with another member, and they both went to the boss, and the boss decided to kill Borgia. And that's the way it is, you know. Borgia might have been right, I don't know, but they called me and told me to go to San Diego with Frank, and we was going to clip Frank Borgia. So I went to San Diego, and we had somebody bring him in the house, and we choked him and buried him, and that was it. He was a member of our family.
Every informer faces a death sentence from the mafia. Jimmy Fratianno is the most important mafia member ever to defect. He now has to be protected from the hitmen of the mob.
I just take my chances, try to stay away from them, go someplace where they can't find me, just live as long as I can. You know, when they find you, bye-bye, baby.
Aladina Fratianno, alias Jimmy the Weasel, born Naples, Italy, 1913. He was chosen for membership of the Los Angeles crime family, and with 4 other candidates, he went through the traditional secret rite.
5 of us went to a winery on Western Avenue in Los Angeles, and they took me in first. They take you in one at a time, and there was like 40, 50 members of the family there, and the boss would be in the front end with the underboss, the consiglieri, and the capos, all on one side, and around the table there was the soldiers. Well, in the middle of the table they had a gun and a sword cross one another. So they bring you in there, and so you hold hands, everybody stands up, and you tie each other's hands. And then the boss says something in Italian that lasts maybe a couple minutes. And after that, they prick your finger with the sword, draw blood. Then they take you around to each member of the family. You kiss them on the cheek, you introduce you, and you're a made member of La Cosa Nostra. I said, Louis, come on, we'll have a cup of coffee, you know. He's got the money. So as he went in, one guy put his arm around him, Frank Bump and I put the rope on him, and we killed him. That was it. We choked him. There was about 9 people there.
Why were they there?
Well, I don't know. They were there, you know how they meet or something like that, and they heard that I was coming in with Russian Louis, so they stayed. They were all members of our family, see. So they just stayed. They didn't have to be there. You know, it was just something that they happened to be there, and they just waited around, see.
See, most people would prefer not to be around when they see someone being strangled.
Well, not people in the family. They're killers themselves, you know. So it didn't mean nothing.
Kind of like a cabaret.
Yeah, just like a little performance, see? Like a magician. Something disappears, then it comes back.
And in this case, nobody comes back.
No, they don't come back, yeah. Yeah. So they says Santa would be the logical guy to have it done because he was in Cuba all the time. So they went to talk to Santo, and they told Santo, you know, kill him some way. And if you do, we get all the favors we want from the government. So he says he would do it.
Castro was now the target of an alliance between America's government and some of its worst criminals. But Trafficante did not share the enthusiasm of Rosselli and Giancana. The plot to kill Castro withered away.
Santo could have killed him in a minute, you know. I know that Castro was running around there loose as a goose when he first took over there, you know. And there would have been no problem. But Santo just didn't want to do it. He didn't do it. Just got in trouble. You know, they start going after him. The government start going after him. So he just took off. Left the country. Johnny told me he had a lot of money when he left, a few $1 million, $2 or $3 million. I understand that Mexico just ripped him off.
Boss, Jimmy Fratianno.
Ayupa tested you, didn't he? He gave you a description.
Yeah, he kind of gave me a test, yeah.
Tell us about
to see what how I felt, about the killing of Roselli. He said, Jimmy, he said, remember that guy, he says he was going like this with his finger, right? The guy they found in the barrel. He said, what's his name? He's looking at me in the eye, I'm looking at him, right? Who are you talking about? Roselli? Oh, yeah, Johnny, what do you think of that? And he's still looking at me, right? It's one of them things, yeah. What are you going to do? He was waiting what my reaction would be, So, if I would have...
Your boss, Jimmy Fratianno.
Ayupa tested you, didn't he? He gave you a description.
Yeah, he kind of gave me a test, yeah.
Tell us about
to see what how I felt, about the killing of Roselli. He said, Jimmy, he said, remember that guy, he says he was going like this with his finger, right? The guy they found in the barrel. He said, what's his name? He's looking at me in the eye, I'm looking at him, right? Who are you talking about? Roselli? Oh, yeah, Johnny, what do you think of that? And he's still looking at me, right? It's one of them things, yeah. What are you going to do? He was waiting what my reaction would be, So, if I would have... He got in an argument with somebody on the phone, and he used some very... he was a hot-tempered guy. And he was talking, I think, to Meyer. And he told him, the hell with him, And he just used four-letter words, and just got in an argument with him, and he hung up the phone on him. Then 5 or 6 months later, they killed him.
And you think that the old boyhood friendship with Lansky would have meant nothing?
Oh, hell no. No. When they order a killing, what's that got to do with it? They just killed Meyer Lansky's stepson here, not so long ago. Did you know that? Huh? So what the hell, what's that got to do with Meyer? You gotta go regardless who you are. You go, Jackson. That's it. Well, see, that's how these Jews got big. I'm going to take the Cleveland family, for instance. They had these Jews like Mo Dalitz, Sammy Tucker, Morris Kleinman, the ones that owned the Desert Inn. They had 2 or 3 gambling houses in Cleveland, right? Well, maybe they'd declare $1 million at the end of the year, whatever. Well, coming into 7, 8, 10 years, if you wanted to invest 5, 10 million in something, you could show that you made that kind of money in the past. So that's how they got successful. I think it was in 1940 or 41, they bought the Beverly Club in Kentucky. Well, they showed money. They had money to show it. The Italians couldn't do it. You give Italian $1 million, he puts it under the cellar. Oh, how can he invest $500,000? Where did you get the money? Do you understand? So that's how these Jews made money, because they could show money. And the more money that they made, the more that they declared, the more that they could invest. See, that's where the Italians made a mistake. They should have done it themselves. Well, maybe they'll use a little violence. People are scared. They don't want to get hurt. And I have never seen where they had problems, at any convention that they ever had. Because that's how well controlled it is. There's one guy out of Detroit that always runs against the president, but they think he's a nut. He never wins. He never comes close.
What about the threat of violence all the time?
Well, sometimes you might have to use violence to get what you want.
Sorry, against the
rank and file, against somebody that's against you all the time. You tell them to lay off, lay off, lay off. You don't do it. Well, maybe you got to go to violence. Have somebody break his legs or something, Not necessarily kill him, but hurt him.
And because he's fighting against organized crime.
That's right.
What do you think lies ahead for you personally? You've been through all this now.
Nothing. Just want to get out of here and live my life as much as I can.
I mean, you have a family life to look forward to.
That's correct, yeah.
And you think these guys will chase you all around the world?
If they find you, I don't think they're going to look for you. But let them find me. I'll take my chances. It's better than being dead, you know. If I'd have stayed out, I'd have been dead, right? So every day I'm living, I beat him out of something, you know, so...